Here. Hey, cool. Hey, we're going live. Hey, we're live. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. It's about 7:34 in the morning. So I'm actually running 2 hours late. I'm behind schedule. What I really want to do is a long day as I did the show last night at 10 o'clock. Just falling asleep trying to wake up this morning. It just wasn't going to happen. Um, so I got to go to bed early, get up early. Anyway, this is 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, and we talk about Scrum and Agile in a practical, tactical way. So you get home to your family and friends like you did, have some fun over the weekend like you did, and get value to the customer, right? And produce a good product that they want to use, and have a little fun along the way, which you did that too. So what is today? Today is Monday, and this is our 391st episode of the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. A little bit later than normal, but as I said, too much fun over the weekend. When wake up. So I'm 2 hours behind in my day. So two topics I want to talk about today. I want to talk about vacation. Oh no, vacation. People go vacation. The world's coming to an end. We can't do what we do because there's people taking time off. They can't take time off because they need to work all the time. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then also sprint review, letting the customer run the product, to use the product or the stakeholders use it in the review. And I'll talk about that and how it relates at 9 o'clock today. There is going to be a release of another Coke Mentos video. And this is where we're experimenting with our new delivery system and a smaller Coke bottle. I don't want to go into what happens because it would spoil it, right? If I told you everything, I'm going to do that anyway. So that's going out at 9 o'clock today. Playing with the Premiere function a little bit in YouTube. I would like to do it on this show, let everybody give a heads up. Hey, we're going to be starting like a half hour or whatever. But that would really mean I have to be up every day at 5:30 a.m. to do that. I don't know if I'm ready to go back to do that yet. This kids being home and working from home makes it harder, but maybe we'll get there one day. Anyway, so let's talk about the topic. Get going here. It is a Monday. Vacation. People taking off affecting your velocity. Oh boy. People always ask, well, how do you do that, right? One, when you track velocity and you look at like past events, that's why you always look at more than 3 sprints. What is your real velocity for a team? And you never go by sprint by sprint by sprint. Because let's say everybody was in the office last sprint, and you did really good. So hey, we're gonna go for the same amount of points this time because we got better because everybody was here. So we're just gonna bump our points up. Well, that's just waiting for disaster. Then you don't meet commitments and everything. The nice thing about spreading it average over a couple sprints is that it takes into account people taking off. It's not like you're a whole entire team's going to take off at the same time. Well, they could. It's called a holiday. But typically people take off during different times during sprint. Therefore, it doesn't affect your ability as a team to get work put out. Where people have issues and get scared is where they practice this thing. Well, let's pick the very best person to do this task, and we will never let them learn anything else, and no one else will learn what they do. And then that's where the vacations hit you. That's why Scrum talks about everybody being cross-functional. It's one of the areas why they talk about being cross-functional and being cross-trained and capable of doing anything in the project. And I've talked about this many times. Even if the person is not the best at it, they can still do it. Like if they had to do some support function while you're away on vacation, they can do it. And it's not that hard, but some people they make the easy thing. And in the long run, when you think long game, which Scrum Masters and Agile coaches and people in general should be thinking, they get hurt because they're the only ones that know it. And then they can never take vacation. It's like one of the very first questions I ask people when I coach them. I go, and I teach them Scrum. I go, do you want to take a vacation? And they're like, yeah. Then, okay. So I actually had one in one class I taught one day. It was like an introduction to Agile for one of the companies I worked at. I go around and ask a question. Who here doesn't like to take vacation? And no one there. Who here does like to take vacation? They all raise their hand, right? And I said, okay, everybody here, how many people in the room are the only person who can do their job for their group or their team? And there was actually a couple people raise their hand. I go, really? Well, guess what? You can never take vacation. What? You can never take vacation because we never know when we're going to need you to fix that thing because you haven't taken the time to cross train one of your people. And because I do that for a purpose, I wanted to like wake them up. It says you don't want to be that person, right? You don't want to ever not take vacation because you're the only one capable of doing it. So I really had that, like, I kind of caught them off guard, but I did that on purpose because I want them to realize that, you want to go on vacation, you can't do it this way. So so it's kind of where people from a personal, what's in it for me, need to cross train so I can go on vacation. How do you take account vacation in your velocity planning? We kind of talked about that. You average it over 3 sprints. That should help you out a lot. And don't be getting into the habit of giving everything to certain people based on their skill sets. One, you're way overthinking it. Everybody's way overthinking that process. It's just pick somebody, some volunteer to do the work. That's all it is. That's all. That's the entire conversation. Who's going to do this? I'll do it. That's it. It's like, well, let's pick Joe or pick Jane because Jane knows more about this piece of software and she'll get it done faster. So we'll give it to her. That's not the mentality you want, right? You want mentality. You want, okay, what processes and tools can we use to help us code faster? That is more a magnification of the team's capability than it is let's pick the fastest person who knows how to code this process. I will bet you any time. If I train a team on how 10 people on a team, I use 10 because it's an easy round number. To magnifying their skills was worth more than just having one person who knows how to code the thing a little better. So, okay, that's all I have about vacations. I know people are taking vacations with the end of the summer here in the States. So it's just something to be mindful of anytime you get that one-way thing. Okay, so that's vacations. Sprint review and letting the customer run the product. I've thought about this before. I had one group where I had the business analyst. She would do the test. She would demonstrate the product to the customer, and we were chatting one day, and she was like, "I don't know whether or not the customer is actually paying attention." And I said, "Well, why don't you let the customer run the software?" Because I read it. I don't know where I read it. I read it in some book, but everybody says, well, so why don't you just do it? And she says, "Okay, I'll try. What the heck? I might as well." And she did it, and she loved it because the customer was actually doing the work on the screen, and then she was able to take notes on the customer's findings, and it made the product much better. And there was a more of a personal take on it by the customer because they were using the product. They were paying attention during the review. So it was really good. And I just want to do a new twist on that. So when we did the new Coke and Mentos delivery review, we did sprint 2. So we did sprint 2. We're doing this in sprints. We're making little tweaks to it and doing new things every sprint, bringing new value. And so in sprint 1, it all failed. It didn't work. The Mentos got stuck. It really didn't work. So we enhanced the system a little bit, made it run a little better. And it ran really well. I will say that I was actually shocked. So in this case, rather than me, let's say me as the quality inspector, running the demo or running the review and operating the device, I let the kids do it, right? I'm like, here, go try it out. I'll just videotape and I'll just observe what's going on. And the reaction we got when we first did the first part with the large one, I had one of our guest visitors. She did it, and she pulled that tab. I had no. I always wondered if that's what's going to happen, but what happened? I wasn't expecting that much stuff because we had a little drill bit in it. You pull the drill bit in it. Neither did the Coke go up, but the Coke went out the sides. And she was standing there. It was funny. I was laughing. She was laughing too. They're like, oh. I was like, oh. So the result of the review by having the customer operated was a million times better than it ever would have been if I would have done it, to be honest with you. So I'm a real proponent of the customer or the product owner or stakeholder actually operating the software or product that you're producing during the review, because you get more feedback on that event by standing away from it, observing what's going on, than you will ever get by running it yourself. So those are the two items I just wanted to mention today. And again, just remind you at 9 o'clock today, if you click the little bell, if you did the little bell, click it twice, you'll get a notice. There's a little vibration little bell thing. You got to click it twice. You'll get an email about a half hour before the premiere of the second part. And then you can see how good the delivery device works. We are working on another one for Sprint 3, which may or may not happen this week. We'll see. And we'll see how that goes. Anyway, you all have a great day. Enjoy your Monday. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the show. And we will see you tomorrow. I'm trying to do this every day and get some new stuff. All right. Take care. Bye. See ya.